Hiya folks, and welcome to part 2 of our Vauxhall Vectra salvage repairable repair. See you in a minute. So in the last video you saw we took the bumper off and we took the headlight out and we found the damage and tapped it out. And I couldn't really do much more there because the bumper, as you know, was all broken there, and I was actually going to repair that. But I actually found one of these online. This is a brand new, obviously a reproduction one, and this one cost me £70. So rather than mess about with it, I thought, well, I might as well just purchase this for £70. It comes unprimed, it's just a bare plastic, so there's obviously some work we've got to do to it before we can get it to the paint stage. We've got to obviously clean it all down. We're going to scuff it up, and then we've got to treat it with a plastic primer, and then we can use our normal primer on it, and then we can put our base coat and then our clear coat. So there's some work still to do on it, but all I've done at the moment is just sort of put it on and line it up, and that's given me an indication as to if the wing was in the actual right place. So let's put this on now and I'll show you what I mean. Right, well, the great thing about these bumper covers is that they're nice and light, and they just literally, you can just slide them on pretty simply. So, and I forgot to mention that I've actually got to just slip the headlight in first. So if I just put this in now. Now what was happening before when I put the headlight in was the fixings weren't lining up correctly, and I had to tweak the wing in and out to get the right angle so that everything lined up correctly. So I'm just going to tighten these in and I'll show you where we are. So it's very important that underneath there's sort of the bracket that supports the headlight is it's designed to crumple, and that had obviously moved a little bit, and that's what caused the headlight not to be lined up correctly. So all three fixings now are actually lining up perfectly without any tension on them whatsoever, and that's what you really want to be looking for. So as you can see, this line down here is constant all the way down now, which I didn't quite have before, but fitting the headlight, fitting the bumper cover, as you're going to see, we got it back to where it needed to be. So all I'll do is just offer this up in place. I'm not going to bolt it in, don't need it bolted in at this stage of the game, just need it to be where it's going to be sitting. Bear with me. Right, let me go around the other side. Again, just making sure it's where it needs to be. Right, okay, so that's where we need to be, and I'm pretty happy with that. We've got our headlight in the right place now, and all I need to do now is just to give this a thin skim of stopper filler. As you can see, I'm happy that we've got a nice line to take in, and all I've got to do now, as I say, is just a thin skim of filler over there, just to bring things back to where they need to be. I mean, although we pushed it out in the last video, there was no way I could really judge and finish this off until we had the bumper on, until we had the headlight in, and everything was sitting correctly. So waiting for this to come, this took a few days obviously. That means I couldn't carry on with this, and don't forget we've still got to do the other side repair, which has got nothing to do with our salvage in this case, but I'm going to do that the other side, and I'll start off here first. So I'm going to take everything off now. We now know everything fits, so I can take the bumper off now, take the headlight out, and then just put some filler on this and then dress the bodywork to where I need to be, and then we'll start the other side. The bumper's ready for paint. As I say, all I've got to do is scuff that up, give it a good clean down first, and then we'll put some plastic primer on it, and then we'll give it the normal, we use the Leckler TI green primer on this, and then we'll put our base coat on. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, then we got our first application of filler on there, and it's only a thin skim, and this is only stopper filler, as I said to you. It's normally the stuff you put on for finishing filler, so it's not as though there's loads and loads on there, and it will stick to, as I say, paintwork as well. Now you may be wondering why we're doing this outside when we've got a body shop. Well, Jimmy's very, very busy at the moment, and he's got so many cars in there. We haven't really got the room for this, so we need the car, so I thought we'd do it the old redneck style, and that's the reason why we're doing it out here in the drive with limited resources, just like you might have at home. So anyway, I'm going to let that dry now, and then we're going to go over to the other side. I'm going to take the wheel off, and then we'll have a go at knocking out that dent on the other side as well. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay then, so I've been dinging about with this for a little bit now, and I've basically got that near enough to where we need it. I've got a straight edge here. This was all buckled in, if you remember rightly, and we also had a buckling up there as well. But I can show you down here where we've got a straight line. We're virtually there now, let me show you. So if I just get the straight edge and put it along there, you can probably see all the way along there. We're virtually there now. We've got a little high spot there, which denotes the paint coming off, as you can see, because we've got a slight little gap one side there and a slight little gap this side there, and there's the edge of the panel, which was fine, and I think the filler will take that in, to be honest with you. The curve I'm happy with now. We'll just have to remold this line in, although we haven't really touched that, to be honest with you, but it's very odd when you've got the right sort of panels and dollies here, which I haven't. I'm just making do with household hammers at the end of the day, but I think you can see now that that's definitely come out a lot better than definitely what it was, and it should be able to take the filler now. Right, so I'm just going to clean this area up now, get some cleaner on the surface there, get away all the dust and all that, and put a bit of filler over this, and we'll take it from there. The other side's dry now, so we'll start on that again in a minute. See you in a minute. Right, okay then, I'll give this a clean down with some wax and grease remover. Got my spatula, I've mixed the filler up exactly the same as before, and again, the good thing about these plastic ones is you can actually bend these to the contours of what you're going to. So I'm just coming around now like that, and the little flat bit plenty on the bottom, use the bottom edge just to flatten it out. Look, there we go. Better to put too much on than not enough, but don't put too much on where you've got too much to take down, basically. So I'm just trying to do the best I can with regards to maintaining the curve here. There we go. Now don't forget, this might be the first time I fill this. It'll be a finishing filler afterwards as well. Right, so we'll let that go off and attend to that when it's all nice and dry. Right, okay. Let's get you a bit nearer. Well, as you can probably see now, we're feathering these edges in now, the filler. Up the top here feels lovely and smooth, and down here I've got still some work to do. We still got some lumps and bumps along the bottom here, but all I'm doing is going in one direction, then changing direction, going with the flow. Now up here, for example, there I can't feel anything whatsoever. There's a lovely transition there. Here you can see there's a high spot there, so when it comes to finally getting this feeling right by hand, I can rub my hands over here and I can feel there's a lump of filler there still to come down. So I'll just tease that down, and while this is proud, all I'll do afterwards is I'll just tap this down a little bit, these little spots there, because they are high spots. You can spray a black spray paint over the top and then just sand down, and then you'll see little divots and stuff, but high spots stand out, as you can see there. So I'm just going to carry on now, try to bring this bottom edge in, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay. Little clean up of the area. And as you can probably see now, we've got a lovely smooth finish. We have got some high spots which we're going to have to attend to. That's not a problem. We can now tap these down and then put the final thin skim within. We don't need to go out and disturb all this anymore. We can just go within our area here, and that hopefully then should give us our perfect shape. This is 80 grit which I'm using here, and as you can see, I've done it by hand. I haven't done it with a sander, although I've got a DA sander. A lot of people say, why don't you get an electric sander to do that? Well, it's outside. I'm not running the lead out. You might not have one, so I'm doing it by hand just to show that you can do it by hand. Okay, so that's that. So all I'm going to do now is just tap these little high spots down, and then put another little thin skim of filler over the top. Let that dry, and then we'll just finally tease that with some probably 120, 180 and 240, something like that, and that'll be ready for the filler primer. Right, well, this is where it's handy to have one of the pick hammers with a sharp point on it, and you can just tap them down. So I can still use this one, but and hopefully that'll be it. Right, okay, I've got my final little piece of filler here. Always make sure it's well mixed up, which it is. And again, you ain't got to go over the whole lot. As I said, this is what you call a stopper filler. And that's all you really need. A couple of small pinholes up there. So just take in. In fact, this is what this filler's really for, pinholes and stuff like that. So, although you can get stuff in a tube called stopper filler, which is already pre-mixed, but anything smaller than what I can see here at the moment will be taken in by the finer sandpaper and also the filler primer, so I haven't got to go too mad there. And that's it, that should do for now. I'm hoping that's going to be my last application. We then should be ready for a filler primer after this, so we'll let that go off and then we'll sort that out. Right, well, I think we'll leave it for now for the rest of this video now, because Jimmy's still at work. He's got to bring some stuff home from me in the way of primer and stuff like that, so I can't really carry on at the moment. So I think you see we've done a bit of body work here. We've got it going. We've got the headlights lined up correctly in their original positions with the wing and that, so I'm quite happy with that. This one here, as you can probably see, let's show you. If I put that along there like that, you can probably see it's virtually there now. There's barely a gap between that wing there, so I'm really happy with that. That was all dented in around here, as you can remember. All this was all caved in, so we've got that back to that sort of finish now. And that's the only thing about, that's the handy thing about having a straight edge. You can actually see where exactly you've got to go. So I'm happy with that. What's that, darling?
Bye bye.
Are you going now?
Bye bye. Yeah.
Say goodbye, subscribers.
Goodbye.
Do the floss. Can you do the floss? You go and do it with her, George. Do the floss. That's the new dance what kids are doing now at the moment. Look, it's called the floss. Couple of nutcases, you two, aren't you? Say goodbye to my subscribers, George.
I'm my subscriber.
Say it, George. See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye. Oh, show me that little one. Look, come here, little one. Say bye bye to everybody, James.
Say bye bye.
Say bye bye, subscribers. Granddad. Alright, you better go then, mummy. See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you later, everyone. I've got to go and put them in the cars now, so I've got to strap them in. See you later. Bye for now.